Today I'm just going to be giving my predictions for NFL Week 17. So for the first game, the Lions and the Cowboys, this game is happening on Saturday. This video will be uploaded on a Sunday, but just know that I made this prediction before the game. Um, the Lions just won their first division title in 30 years, so there's a lot to be happy about for Detroit. On the other hand, the Cowboys are coming off a tough loss to Miami. Um, it really just comes down to, is this the game where Dak Prescott steps up and gets a big win, or does he resort to his old ways? He's going to have an easy game against this Lions secondary that isn't as strong as a lot of other teams in the league. But ultimately, I just love this Lions team, and I think they're going to get the win. Moving on to the 1 o'clock games on Sunday, the first one is Tennessee and Houston. Houston's hit kind of a dry spell in their season, suffering a lot of injuries to key players. But the good news for them is CJ Stroud will be playing in this game. And so this is a very critical game for them for their playoff hopes. Tennessee, they've just recently been eliminated. Not really a lot to be positive about, I guess, in Tennessee. So I'm going to take Houston. I like them to cover as well. Next, we got Atlanta and Chicago. Both teams coming off uh, really good wins. Atlanta beat Indianapolis, and honestly, I kind of like the Bears on this one because I feel like they've been playing well of late. They're favored by 3. Um, Big playoff implications in this game for Atlanta because they are still in contention for a playoff spot. This is definitely a must-win game for them, and it's been really tough to kind of diagnose this team because they've been so inconsistent throughout the season. But ultimately, I am going to go Atlanta because I think this is a game that they're going to want to win. They're going to be kind of desperate going into this game, realize the importance of this one. I think they're going to get it done. The next game, probably the biggest game of the week, we got the two top teams in the AFC, Miami and Baltimore, both coming off incredible wins last week. Baltimore crushed San Francisco, and Miami was able to hold off Dallas. Um, a lot to like about both of these teams. Lamar Jackson is playing at an MVP caliber level, and this Baltimore defense has just been stifling against a lot of their competition. And on the other hand, you have Miami, who has maybe the most explosive offense in the entire league with Tyreek Hill, Tua. A lot to like about this team. It's going to be a close one. Definitely will go down to the wire. There's a lot of playoff implications on this game as well. Baltimore can clinch the 1 seed with a win today, while Miami can clinch their division with a win today and would get the upper hand on the 1 seed with a win today. But I am going to go with Baltimore in this one. I just think they just got it in them to win these tight games, so I'm going to go with them. Next, we got New Orleans and Tampa Bay. It's been really tough for Saints fans because this team, it feels like they should be better than they are, but they just haven't been able to get it done. And on the other hand, Tampa Bay, I really like what I'm seeing from them. Last week, they blew out Jacksonville. Now, granted, Jacksonville was kind of banged up in the lineup, but still, that was a dominant performance from the Buccaneers. I really like what they got going down there. Baker Mayfield's playing very well. Really big implications for this game. I believe Tampa Bay locks up the division title with a win today, and I think they're going to do just that. So give me the Buccaneers. Next, we got New England and Buffalo. Buffalo is possibly the hottest team in the league right now, maybe behind Baltimore. They've won 3 straight and 4 of their last 5. I really like how they're playing. They look like the Bills that we kind of expected to see at the beginning of the year. The Patriots got a nice kind of surprise win last week, but still not really a lot of positives coming out of New England. So give me Buffalo big in this one. Next, we got Arizona and Philadelphia. A lot of unhappy fans in Philadelphia, despite their 11-4 record. They kind of just scraped out a win against the New York Giants last week, and their fans are not really happy with their performance of late. So they have to get a big win like this against a team that they should beat easily to instill some confidence within their fan base. They are a game up on Dallas, but if they were to lose today, they would lose first place of the division because Dallas holds that tiebreaker. They are favored by 12. I think this is going to be a game where Philadelphia kind of asserts their dominance, and I think they're going to win easy here against Arizona. Next, we got Carolina and Jacksonville. The good news for Jacksonville is that Trevor Lawrence is going to be active for this game. So I think it should be a pretty routine win for Jacksonville if Trevor Lawrence is playing well, like many expect him to. Carolina just really hasn't clicked this year in Bryce Young's first year, so it can be Jacksonville. The line is only 4 for this one, but I think Jacksonville will cover that pretty easily. Next, we got Las Vegas and Indianapolis. Both teams have kind of put together surprisingly good resumes. Indianapolis is sitting at 8-7, and they really haven't been talked about at all. While they are 7-8, they've been playing well recently. Obviously, getting that big upset win over Kansas City last week. And I feel like there's a lot to like about this Raiders team. Their defense is just playing together. They got some good leaders on both sides of the ball. They're going to need more from Aiden O'Connell going forward. I know he barely did anything against the Chiefs last week, but I mean, he didn't really have to. But I do think this is a game where he plays well, and I think the Raiders are going to get the upset win with Indianapolis being favored by 4. So give me the Raiders. Next, we got LA Rams and New York Giants. The Rams, people were counting them out after their 3-6 start, and now they're sitting here with a chance to go to the playoffs. And I really like the way they're playing. Stafford's playing great. Kyron Williams is looking like one of the top running backs in the league, and so I'm going to go with the Rams. San Francisco and Washington. This one's kind of a no-brainer. San Francisco looking at wrapping up the 1 seed in the NFC, so give me San Francisco big in this one. Pittsburgh and Seattle. This is another big game in terms of playoff implications. Both teams sitting at 8-7. Steelers with a huge win last week against Cincinnati, playing possibly their best game of the season, and Seattle scraping out a win against Tennessee last week. Ultimately, I think both of these teams are headed in the right direction, but I think it's going to help that Seattle's at home, and so I'm going to go with Seattle. Next, Cincinnati and Kansas City. Both teams desperately needing a win here. Cincinnati more than Kansas City. Cincinnati, they kind of came down to earth last week after that blowout loss to Pittsburgh, but they still have a chance to make the playoffs. And Kansas City, on the other hand, a lot of disappointment and well-deserved concern coming out of that team. They're sitting at 9-6, being Super Bowl defending champions. Many would not have expected that, but I do think this is a game where the offense clicks for Kansas City. I don't think they're going to lose another one, so give me Kansas City. I do like Cincinnati to cover this game. Next, we got the Chargers and the Broncos. The Broncos are just really starting to fall apart with the whole Russell Wilson situation. I don't really know what's going on down there. They're starting Jarrett Stidham over Russell Wilson, which is just an interesting play. The Chargers, on the other hand, no Justin Herbert, no Keenan Allen. Their season's pretty much over. But I do like how they played last week against Buffalo. They took that one down to the wire. So I'm going to go with the upset here. Give me the Chargers. And then the last game on Sunday night, Green Bay and Minnesota. Minnesota is on like their 4th string QB now. And I think at some point that quarterback inconsistency is going to catch up to them. This is another really big game for playoff hopes. I like the way that Jordan Love has been playing recently, so I'm going to go with the Packers. All right, that's it. Make sure to leave a like and comment down below if you guys agree with my takes or disagree with them, and subscribe if you want to see more sports content. Thanks.